Alright guys, the video you're about to see is made possible by Game Changer RC. The man I say is changing the game in RC. And the reason I say that this video is made possible by Game Changer RC, as you guys know, I don't hide anything on my channel, but I recently did a build on this V2 infraction for Game Changer. He had sent me all the parts. I assembled it, put it together to the best of my ability to give him an awesome speed RC. Well, when I did that, I pulled out all these electronics. I pulled out the handbrake, I pulled out the diff, I pulled out all the electronics and put in what is needed to make that thing go fast, in my opinion. Well, with that said, all the stuff I was waiting for on this RC, like the handbrake that I ordered back when I bought my V2, I still haven't received. So because he donated all the electronics and said I can keep them, along with the handbrake, this video is possible. So I just want to give Game Changer a shout out that thanks to him, we get to watch the install of this V2 Limitless is what I'm calling it, to make it like the V2 infraction. So if Arrma was going to build a ready to run Limitless, this is how I think it would be built. So we're turning this Limitless into a V2 infraction with the Limitless body. It's not going to stay that way. It's just an informational video to see how it performs against a stock V2 infraction, which I own and I haven't modified yet. It's still stock, so I will be running that against the V2. One more thing, Jessica has done a video on breast cancer awareness. So Game Changer, of course, stepped on board and said, I'm there, let's build a pink fan setup and get it out there so we can donate all the proceeds to breast cancer awareness, which I think is awesome. It was a great video, her first video she ever made. Very well done. I am going to post a link to that video in the description of this video, so that you guys can head over there, buy a set of fans, so that we can support this breast cancer awareness on my channel. So because Game Changer does a lot for everybody in the RC community, like this, donating the handbrake and electronics, I feel it's only fair to support them in what they're doing with breast cancer awareness. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this is helpful to a lot of people out there if you guys want to get a handbrake in your Felony or into your Limitless or into your V1 infraction. That's why I'm making this video. Hopefully it's very informative. So like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't been here before, and on with the video. Thanks for watching. All right, welcome back. Today I want to do a little work on the new infraction. No, it's going to be, I want to do some work on the new Limitless. So this, I guess, would be considered the V1 or the only one that they have out there at the time is the Limitless roller. So what I really want to do is do a handbrake install onto the Limitless. Not only am I going to do a handbrake install, in order to do the handbrake, we will have to add a center differential. We are going to do some Game Changer fans. These are their new fans, so that's going in there. And then we're going to do a V2 electronic install. So the reason I want to do this is I have the V2 infraction that's all stock. I have the handbrake in it. I have all that stuff in it. Before I actually mod this to where we're going to do what people vote on, whether it's going to be a rally car, whether it's going to be a drag car, or whether it's going to be another speed car to my collection, I want to convert it to a V2. So this is going to be a Limitless V2, as if Arrma were going to build it as a ready to run. So you can take this first part as a handbrake install, whether it's into your V1 infraction, or if it's into your roller Limitless. So we're going to get started with this. I figured do a video on the first part of it, which is going to be, remember, we don't have a steering servo in this yet, so I will be throwing a steering servo in it as well. But the first thing I am going to do is a handbrake install. So in order to do that, we're going to bust off the two left tires so that we can get to the bolts for the center brace nice and easy. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop off the motor mount spool bracket on top so that we can take the spool out, so that I can install the differential and we can get the handbrake installed. I'm very curious to see how this goes. I'll be doing it for the first time like you guys are seeing, so we'll do it step by step. I have ordered a handbrake kit. I don't know what's going to come in the kit. I have a feeling the spool is not going to be in there from the parts list, which means the handbrake kit I bought, I still won't be able to get it installed. But we're going to go through all that stuff now. So I'm going to show you guys what you need to put a handbrake into any of Arrma's on-road felony, infraction, or limitless. These are the parts you're going to need. So let's get to getting these wheels off. To make it quicker, I am going to use my impact to take the wheels off. You can do it by hand with the tools that they supply. It's just you guys don't need to see me wasting all that time. So now the center brace. Now you don't have to take off the brace, you can just flip it up. And these bolts are very important. If you can, order extra one of these upper brace bolts, because these nuts get stripped out pretty easy, which I'm finding out later on in running my Limitlesses and my infractions. So now that that's off, I'm going to bring you guys in a little closer. There we go. So we're going to knock this out. Try to stick those bolts back in the same spot. The ones that go into the aluminum mount will have Loctite on it. The other ones will not. Just for reference, I'm going to get this body out of the way, just because I will be setting this car back on the ground so that I can get to the bolts underneath for the brake. So we're going to go ahead and pop this up. Taking note that the gear is forward. I will be installing a motor on this side. I'm not going to be flipping this mount. What I like to do is get the slash marks facing to the side so it gives me the most leverage. Or maybe it's the other way. Yeah, it's the other way. So it will have to be a slight angle. There's our diff. or our spool. It's not a diff. So we will be installing the diff. The reason we install the diff, you see this flat spot here and here? The Limitless doesn't have it right here. And the disc brake that we have to install literally slides over that diff cup right there, and that's what's going to give us our brake. And because it doesn't slide over this, we can't install it. Now, I thought the original spools from EMP, these fit over, but the changes he made to his spool, I asked him if they had the flat spots on it, and he said yes, but they do not. So even with his spool, I can't get it on there, which I really liked these, but as you see, they would have been perfect for a spool like that, and that's going to come into play later. But I wish I had these EMP diff cups on their new one, but I understand why he changed them. So, but we'll get into that on another video. So now that we know we need this diff, normally I would take this diff and throw 20 million in it, but I'm not going to do it on this one. I want to do it stock, like if Arrma was going to build a ready to run Limitless in a V2 in a V2 form, so that we can compare this RC to the V2 for top speed, handling, all that stuff. So gearing and everything is eventually going to be the same as the V2 infraction that I have. So let me get this drive shaft put back in properly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, which is my disc brake with the pins, and I need the clips. So here are the little clips that are going to lock that in. Now I'm going to set my brake in there. I'm going to set this in there. I'm wondering if I can install this separate. Let me try to install it separate. I don't think I can, but I'm going to give it a shot. So the brake has to go on first. I have to put that on first, so I'm going to slide the brake in there. Hook up the drive shaft. Hopefully I can get the other drive shaft in. There we go. Get that brake slid back. And then let's see, how does that go? I think it goes on this side. Yeah, it does. So I think I got to put this in first and slide these pins back. So let me pop the diff back out. Let me get this handbrake in there. God, that's awfully tight. So I think I'm going to have to set that in as a unit. Yeah, that's going to be tricky. So yeah, that's going to sit like that. This has got to go on here. That's got to go in there. The brake's got to go in between there. like that. Now let me get this drive shaft in. It's like a balancing act. Well, now the brake stuff just all fell apart. There we go. Slip that stuff down in there. Oh, I see what happened. The brake slid back. So, there we go. Now it'll slide forward. And that does line up, I think. So I'm going to pull those pins back. I'm going to slip this in. Well, this goes the other way. This always goes to covering the spur or the pinion gear. Now I slip those in so that I can make sure I can get to those pins to clip that in the holes, just like that. Then we're going to grab our 4 bolts and stick them back in. And then this wire clips under that little latch deal there. There we go. That's going to go over to our receiver box. Pretty simple. So there we go, that part is on. Now I'm going to flip it over and get the handbrake mounted down from the bottom. So I know I need that short screw and the other short screw, and I think one more screw. So I think there's 3 bolts that hold this down. And I'm going to try to wiggle the brake. It looks pretty lined up. One. Two. Three. 3 bolts to hold on the handbrake. And there we go. Handbrake is installed. The next thing I want to put in is the support bearing for the rear drive shaft so that we don't have flex, which I probably should have did it when the drive shaft was up and out and the the handbrake, I could have slipped it in with the drive shaft out, but now I'll have to remove the battery tray and snap this thing in from the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. So if you just were here for the handbrake, all you would do is plug this into the appropriate channel that you need for your thumb switch to activate it. But right now, the handbrake is operational. To the rear brake. Yep. So that is working. So now I'm going to mess with this battery tray. I'm going to get that battery tray out. And so I can get the bearing support in. So let's do that. So I believe it's these small screws. 1, 2, should be front and rear. 3, that's a long one. 4, and then I believe it's these 2. It's one of those. I know it's these ones down here. These 3. Now, it's one of these. Or maybe both of them. Nope. It wasn't that one right here. That one's for the brake. Actually, they're not short. They're standard. So far, I only have one short screw that I removed. So those 3. There's actually a lot of stuff holding in the battery tray. And then it clips into this rear deal. Which I don't think I'll need to take off, because I'm going to try to snake this thing in there. Being careful not to lose this adjuster that I forget to put in every time. So this thing would pop in to that, and snap in to that one. And then I gotta get this back in on top of the strap, but under that, so that we're adjustable. Put that back in. It should be good right there. Now I'm going to hold it in place and get at least one screw in. That will kind of hold everything in place. Now it's a matter of getting all these screws put back in. So it might be easier to pull off, well, it's easier if you do it before putting in the handbrake. So keep that in mind. But if you're just installing that bearing, then pulling out the spool and taking it out that way to get the drive shaft out is easier. So I have my gun set on the lowest setting so it impacts. Now let's take a look at that install. There we go. Bearing is installed. Battery tray is installed. Make sure correctly so nothing's pinched. Yep, we're good. Right like that above. And we slide. And we slide with the strap. So everything's good there. So there we go. It is installed. The brake is installed. Spin it around. You can see the brake. I hope. Everything's spinning nice and free. The differential spinning nice and free. And the bearing spinning nice and free. And as you see, the drive shafts have a wobble from the factory, but hopefully that'll stop the issues we were having. Everything's nice and smooth. So I'm gonna get to doing the electronics. Will be next, and then we'll put it on the futaba. So I'm gonna pop on the wheels, and then that's gonna conclude this install. So of the handbrake and the bearing. There's one. Come on. There we go. Now these nuts, make sure that the serrated side is in so you don't lose the wheel nuts. Two clicks with an impact, and there we go. Back to a roller. with a handbrake install. Got rid of the spool. We installed a center diff. And we are going to probably put a big pinion on it. But that is what's needed to get a handbrake onto the Limitless. So next, stay tuned for the next video. We will be installing the factory smart system out of the V2 infraction into the Limitless. On our conversion to what is hitting? I feel like something's hitting this body. There we go. So that's going to end the video of us taking our Limitless roller and converting it to a V2 infraction style. And I'm calling this the V2 Limitless. If Arrma was going to design a Limitless ready to run, I think this is what they would do. So stay tuned for the next episode. We will be installing Arrma's factory V2 infraction electronics into the Limitless. There we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the handbrake install. Hopefully this helps some people out there that want to get a handbrake into their V1 or their Limitless. There we go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.